So Chuck, how did you come to know about drain punch?
I actually came across it through the University of Richmond. They had a salesman there that was selling it, and I tried it one time just as a last resort. We tried snaking it, we tried jetting it, and couldn't get it to go through, and I dumped it in there, and last hope next to tearing out the wall, and 15 minutes later it took off. I've used it at the university, I've used it in commercial applications, and now I've used it in residential applications. And not once disappointed yet.
So this is hair and soap in the bottle, in the jar. We've also added a little water on top of it to simulate what you run into when you walk into a clogged sink or a clogged tub. Oh, shoot. Just pour a little bit in there. It goes right through the hair. It goes right through the soap and starts to lift it immediately. And as soon as you get a clog loosey-goosey, the vacuum's going to suck it out of there. And the neat thing is that once this starts going through the pipe, if you let it sit, even if, see all the hair is lifted up, and in a few minutes you'll see the hair start to break up because it's starting to break it up and liquefy it. But let this sit for 20 or 30 minutes in the trap and in the pipes, and then rinse it, it's actually clinging to everything organic in the pipe and loosening up. You'll rinse out more than just the clog. So a lot of plumbers now are using this in addition to a snake because they're old-time plumbers, they want to use a snake. You treat the drain also with this. It's a double whammy. It's a combination cleaning. But it'll do the job by itself. You can see it. One other thing I want to show you, sir, is if you feel this jar, there's no heat. There's a teeniest little bit, but that's the reaction of what's going on. But as you can tell, that wouldn't hurt a thing. They're not going to damage any gaskets or anything like that. And now as you look at it, it's totally lifted the clog. Totally, and now it's all changing color, and in about 20 or 30 minutes it'll all be one color because it's dissolved the hair. Just like that.
So it will totally dissolve it.
It will, but it'll be long gone before you ever saw it. We've done a couple of hair and soap demos. This was about 30 minutes ago. This was about 4 or 5 minutes ago. You can see that it's going right through the hair and the soap and literally liquefying it, just like we said. A little tougher test is chicken fat. I've had this in the refrigerator, and what we're going to do is to simulate what you might walk in on with a clogged sink or something, most likely a sink, that has a trap full of this. We'll put a little bit of water on top of it to simulate what you walk in on. And then I'm going to take some drain punch and pour in there. Now this might take 20 or 30 minutes to complete the process, but you'll be able to see progress right away, and then we'll monitor it over 30 minutes. Here's our drain punch. I'm literally just going to pour a little bit in there, and we're going to let it do its thing. Now, unlike the hair and the soap, which was pretty much instant, this is going to take a few minutes. But this is in lieu of tools, of snakes, of pipe wrenches, anything you might think of, and risking breaking something and all that. All we did was pour it in there. So all right, now look, we got something happening here. It's going through it. You see how it's going through the fat on one side and it's getting down up under it? How long has that been? Just a few minutes? No violent reaction, no nothing like that. Now look what it's done to the fat, y'all. It's lifted it up. Look at that. It's already lifted the fat up. See that, Steve? Is that what it's been, 6? Totally lifted the fat up in just 6 minutes. What I wanted to show you here was that as it's lifted the fat, it's also breaking it up into little pieces, and it'll turn it to a liquid, and it'll be just like the grease slick. That's what you can see from here. We'll put the top back on to be safer. That's totally lifted that up. And if the clog had been lifted up and loosened that much, the vacuum would have sucked it right out. And then you haven't gotten messy, you haven't broken anything, you didn't care about how far the snake would reach. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get the camera and look at the top of the jar so you can see what it's doing. Breaking this up.
I always like this sample where it's like, oh, look at what it can do. And I was like, they made that.
There it is. Turn it into a liquid. Only 8 minutes.